Cool. So first thing what we will be studying in tuple is again CRUD operation, right? Create, then update and retrieve before update, retrieve, and then delete. So create, okay, this is simple. Then retrieving again, this will cover up the indexing and slicing part. Then we'll see whether we can update the tuple or not, and then we will see deletion of the tuple. Then we have copying a tuple, and then quick tuple functions and methods. So let's begin with creation part. So how do we create tuple? So before that, so what is tuple? So tuple is also, it's kind of a list. It is also a collection of similar or different data type. So let me write it down. So tuple is similar or different data type. And it is a ordered data structure, right? And the only difference between a list and a tuple is that so list was mutable, but tuple is immutable. So it is like a string. You cannot change the value of a tuple. Hence, it is immutable. And compared to list, it is it is more memory efficient than list. So wherever you can use tuple, whenever memory constraint or memory efficiency is in picture, then you should go ahead and try using tuple wherever you can. So let's see how do we create a tuple. So first of all, let me define a variable tup, and then if I'll define this variable in round brackets, then this is tuple. So for list, what we were doing, so we were using box bracket or square brackets, right, in order to declare the list. In tuple, we use this round brackets. So once we do that, if we define anything under round bracket, it will be of tuple data type. That variable will be of tuple data type. So if I'll print this, it will print the tuple that I have defined. Another way to define a tuple is just like this. So again, it is an example of single variable and multiple assignment, right? So whenever we do in this particular manner, it is basically defined as a tuple, right? Okay, moving on to the next next concept. So let's say if I basically define some variable like this, right? And I'll also print type of this particular variable that I have defined. So what will be the output? So it will be basically printing the class as int class, right? So this is not a tuple with a single variable. So it will look like as if this is a single value tuple, but it is not. So in order to define a single value tuple, you will write down the single value inside a tuple, and then you just end it with a comma. So once I do this, and now if I run the program, so the class will show as a tuple class. So this is how I define a single variable tuple. Now if I want to define a an empty tuple. So I'll just do like this. So if I'll run this, so it will print as an empty tuple and the class is tuple. So this is an empty tuple. Now, like strings, list, tuples are also indexed. That means this is at 0th index, first index, second index, third index, and negative indexing also applies here. So if I'll put print tuple value at, let's say, index 2, it will print me 3. Output will be 3. And if I'll let's say do minus 3, so it will print me 2, because this is -1, -2, and -3. 2. So these indexing and then slicing, everything remains same, whatever we have studied so far. That means that let's say if I want to slice a tuple, let's say if I want to reverse a tuple, so for reversing the slice method is this, and if I'll run this program, it will basically reverse the tuple. So this is about indexing and slicing. I don't want to spend more time on it because we have already covered in previous lectures. Now let's see the next topic, which is updating of tuple. So we have seen this thing, creating of tuple, retrieval of tuple. Now we'll see updating of tuple. So updating of tuple is not possible, right? Because updating or adding any element is not possible in case of tuple because it's immutable, correct? Immutable means you cannot change the value of the tuple. So basically, okay, let me prove that to you. So let's say this is a tuple, and let's say I want to assign tuple, I want to change the value of this tuple at index 1, and I want to make it as 20 instead of 2. So it will throw the error that tuple don't support item assignment. So you cannot do that. So you cannot update the value of the tuple. You cannot update the value of the tuple or any element within the tuple. Now there is a workaround to do that. Let's say if you want to update the tuple, update any value into the tuple. So what do you have to do that? First step will be convert tuple to list. Then second step, do the necessary updation or addition, whatever you want to do, and then convert back to tuple. So convert back from list to tuple again. So let's see how we can do that. So this is tuple, and let's say I will convert this into list. So how will I convert this tuple into list? So I'll use list function. I have converted this into the list, and then at list this index. Oh, before that, let me print this L and show you. So if I'll run this program, it will print, it is printing the list 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am just now, what I'm doing. So at index 1, I am changing the value, at index 1, sorry, this is the value at index 1. I'm changing it to 20. And after changing it to 20, I will convert back this, tuple, this list back into the tuple like this. And finally, when I'll print tuple value, it will be the updated value. See, this is the updated value that I was just talking about, right? So whenever, if there is some operation which you cannot do on tuple because of the immutable behavior, you have a workaround where you can convert the tuple into list, do the necessary action, and then convert back the list to tuple. So similarly for deletion also, you cannot remove or delete tuple item because of the immutability. Again, the workaround is again, same. You can, do the workaround by converting the tuple into the list first. Now, you can delete the whole tuple. It is allowed. So what we have discussed before is that you cannot delete the specific item. But if you want to delete the whole tuple altogether, it will work. It will delete the tuple. If I'll run it, it will, give the name error because at this line, the tuple do not exist, right? It was already deleted before, line number 4. It was deleted at this line. So hence, when I was printing this, it was showing named TUP is not defined. Cool. Now, let's say we want to copy a tuple. So what I'm seeing, copying a tuple, this particular thing. Again, I can, copy a tuple by equating, like we have seen in list, right? By equating. So let's say tuple 1 T1 is this. And when I give T2 equal to T1, and then I'll print both T1 and T2, it will basically print these value, right? Now there is no copy method in tuple. So you have seen, right, that in string, in list, there was a copy method. So this copy method is not there in tuple. Okay. Now again, another way to create a tuple copy is by this particular way, by using tuple function. And again here also, when I'll print T1 and T2, it will print both of these tuple having the same values. Okay. So this was about copying the tuple. Now, okay, I have forget one more. After copying, we want to see how to join the tuples, right? Joining the tuple. Let's see how do we join the tuple. So we can join the tuple using plus operator or concatenation operator. Let's say I have tuple T2 as 20, 10, 20, 30, and 40. And I want to join these two tuples. So T3, I will make it as T1 plus T2. And when I'll do print statement, when I'll do, print of T3, it is joining these two tuple. Then another way to join the tuple is by repetition, right? Asterisk symbol. So how do you do that? Let's say I am defining T2 as T1 asterisk 3, right? And then I'm printing T2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be repeated 3 times in T2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be the output. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 first time, second time, and then this is the third time. So this is how you basically join two tuples, right? Now let's see some of the important methods for tuple. So first method is the count method. So count method will basically it is same, right? It is same as that of list. So what it will basically do is that T1 dot count of, let's say I want to see the count of element 1 in this. So let me add one more element here. So if I'll run this, it will print the output as 2 because 1 is appearing 2 times in this tuple. So the count method will give the number of occurrences a particular value is there in a given tuple. Now there is an index method also. So index method, if I'll use, so it will give the element at index 1. So what is the element present at index 1? It is 2, right? This is 0th index, this is first index. So when I run this, the output should be 2. Okay, it is not 2. Why it is not 2? Because, so I was wrong. So, I mean, anyways, so T1 index, we basically do using the slicing method, right? So element at index 1, if I want to print, I can do it like this, right? Like this, correct? So here it is printing 2, but this index method, what it basically do is that it will give you the index of first occurrence of this particular value. So this particular value is occurring first time at index 0 in this tuple. So that is why the output is 0 in this case. So if you want to print the element at a particular index, you do, you basically use indexing, or you basically, yeah, I mean, this box bracket may you will give the index and then it will return the value at that particular index. And this index method is basically used to return the value of index, the index of the value that you have defined here. If I, let's say, define any value which is not present in this tuple, then what will happen? If I run this program, it will give value error. It will say that X is not in tuple. So this 10 is not present in the tuple. That is why this error came. Now, again, there is, there are, couple of more functions. So this we have seen, these are the methods. Now let's see some of the functions of tuple. So a very common function is to calculate the length of the tuple, which is again common. I'll use the len function. And if I'll run this program, it will give the length of the tuple. Now, we have, sum function is there, which will sum up all the element here, and it will give you the sum of the elements. Then max will give the maximum value present in this tuple, which is 4, and min will give the minimum value present in this tuple, which is 1. Right? So this, this was the quick, lecture on the tuple. So, if you want to perform something, but immutability of tuple is restricting you, the only thing that you have to remind in, or you have to keep in your mind, is basically that you can do that by doing some workaround. And what is that workaround? So you have to convert the tuple to list first, do the necessary action, and then convert back into the tuple is how you can do that. Okay. Okay. So next thing we will be seeing is Python sets. So Python sets. So set is what? Set is basically a collection of unique elements of similar or different data types. So you can have different data types also in the set, but the only thing is that the element in the set will be unique. There is no duplication or there is no repetition in the sets. And set are unordered and unindexed. That means the indexing and slicing won't work on sets because it is a unordered. So if you're adding some elements in a set, the order is not maintained. And let's say you want to retrieve the set element at any particular index, it will not happen because it is an unindexed data structure. And set variables, again, yeah, these are the reference variables. So let's see the first thing, that is how to create a set. So to create a set, what you have to do, let's say S1, I'm creating set 1. You have to use curly braces for set, and 1, 2, 3. Let's say I'm giving 3 values, and if I'm printing the set S1 and the type of S1, so this is the set that I have declared, and the class or the data type of this particular variable is class of type set. So this is a set variable that I have defined. Now let's say I am giving some duplicate values in this, and if I'll run this program, it will filter out all the duplicates and it will keep the unique values. Unique value means for all these 3 1, it will just keep 1 1, and for these 2 2s, it will keep only 1 2 in the final output that you will print. And you can have even any data type here, high, true. If you will run this, okay, it is not printing true because why it is not doing that, because true is represented by, I mean, any number except 0 is represented as true. That is why it has omitted true in this case. If I will, let's say, if I'll give empty string here, so it is keeping the empty string, but it is not keeping the Boolean values. False is not there in this particular scenario, so it is not printing false here. Sorry, it is printing false here. Now, let's see the indexing part. So, I mean, it will look like that this particular element is at index 0, this is at index 1, and this is at index 2. But the thing is that indexing do not work on set. So if I'll try to print something like this, it will not happen. It will tell that set object is not subscriptable. That means the index, you cannot use indexes over set. Okay. Now, next thing is slicing. Okay, slicing is also not possible because indexing is not possible. So slicing, if you want to do something like this, it will not happen. Set is not subscriptable because indexing is not there. So indexing, slicing, you cannot do that. Now, next thing is updating the set values. Let's see. Updating items in set. So you basically, if you want to update a particular, I mean, element at a particular position, so it cannot be done because once a set is created, we cannot change its item, but we can add only new items. Updating is not possible because indexing is not there, right? So you cannot do the update in the set because updating, how do we do the updates in the previous data structures that we have seen? So we are either updating at a particular index or between any two indexes, or in the initial, at the starting or at the end. So updating at a particular position is not possible because this is indexing is not there. Then again, if you want to, update the element at a particular position, so again, the same workaround you can do. You can convert this particular set into the list first, make the changes, and then convert back to the set. But as you will convert back that list to the set, it will again not guarantee the order because the set is unordered, right? But yeah, this is the workaround which you can possibly do if you want to add any element in between. So updating the item at a particular position is not possible. So what we can do instead, we can basically add new item in set. So here in this case, what we will see adding one item first, and then we'll see adding multiple items in set. Cool. Let's see adding one item first. How do we add one item? So let's say we have a set S1 as 1, 2, 3. Then we will use S1 dot add method, and I will, when I'll do add 4, then it will add the element 4 in the at the last. So when I'll run this program, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4 because it has added 4 at the last. So I mean, this order can be anything. So when I'm running this right now, it is giving you consistently 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is not guaranteed actually. It can be of any order basically. Cool. So this is how we add one element or single element in a set. Now let's see how do we add multiple items in a set. Now to add a multiple items in a set, instead of, so initially we have used add method. Now we will use update method. So if I'll use update method, will this work? It will not work because the update method basically takes the data type as list, tuple, or set. So if I'll give this as this particular list, will it work now? Yes, it worked now. If I'll give this, will it work? Okay. Can anyone tell me why it is not working when I'm giving it as a tuple? I have explained it during the starting of this class. Anyone? It's not adding here because this particular what I have told you when I was discussing tuple. So if you want to define a tuple with a single value, if you will define a tuple like this, it is not considered as tuple. It will be considered as a int data type. So in order to define a single tuple, you have to use a comma at the end, right? Now if I'll run this, it will add it successfully. And this I can add it as a set also. So this is how I add, but right now I'm adding a single element. So instead of single element, let me try to give more elements, 9, 10, 23, something like this. So it is basically adding multiple elements. So this is how we add multiple elements using update method. And instead of this, I can have tuple or list also that we have already seen, right? If I run this, the output will be same. Cool. So this is how we add new elements or new items in a set. Now, the next topic is basically deleting. How do we basically delete? So in deleting, first thing that we will see will be how to delete complete set, and then how to empty a set, then removing specific item from the set, and then remove any random item from a set. Now let's see these cases one by one. So deleting, first is deleting complete set. How do we delete a complete set? So in order to delete a complete set, what you will do, you will again use a similar keyword that we have used in past, that is tel, and then s1 when I'll do. Now if I run this program, it will give the error that name s1 is not defined because we have already deleted the whole set. The set itself do not exist now. So this is about deleting complete set. Next is emptying the set. So I want to delete all the elements from the set, but I want to keep that set as an empty set. So for that, how do you do that? So you will use s1.clear method. And now when you will run this program, it will basically give set. Okay, one important concept here. So this is how you denote an empty set. So this is an empty set. Set and then, circular brackets. Now, if you are defining something like this, so it will look like a empty set, right? But this is not an empty set. It is an empty dictionary. Okay, just remember this is a very confusing thing for the beginners in Python. So this is how we define an empty set, and something like this is not an empty set, it is an empty dictionary. Cool. So this is how we basically clear the set, where we are not deleting the set itself. We are just clearing all the elements from the set. Now, next thing that we want to see is removing a specific item from the set. This particular thing we want to see. How do we do that? So let's say I want to delete 3 from this particular set. So for that, I will use the method remove method. And inside remove method, I'll give the value that I want to delete. So once I'll do this and run the program, it will delete the method, value 3 from this given set. I can use one more method, which is known as discard method. Discard method will also do the same thing. See, it is giving the same thing, but there is a difference between a remove and discard method. So remove method will give value error if the item is not present in the set, whereas discard will not give any error. So let's say if I'm giving here 30, I want to discard as one dot discard 30. It will not give any error and it will print the original set because nothing is deleted from that set. See, but instead of that, if I'll use remove method, let's see what happens now. If I'll run now, it will give the key error, right? It will say that this particular key that you want to remove is not present in the set. So this is the difference between remove and discard method. Now, next thing that we want to see is to remove any random item from the set. How do we remove a random item from a set? Okay. Now, in order to remove any random item from a set, you just use a simple method, pop method. So it has removed 1. Now, actually, if you run this now again and again, it will give same output. But the thing is that it will remove any random item because set are unordered. So when we use pop, we will not know which item will be removed. So if I'll have, let's say, I'll try to give some more elements. It has removed 1. See, it will basically, when you run it, it is looking like that it is popping the same item again and again. But the fact is that it can or it may remove random item when you use pop method. Now, okay, we have seen how to create a set. We have seen how to update items in set. We have seen adding a new item in set. We have also seen how to delete how do we use delete? I mean, how we do deleting with respect to sets. Now, next thing we want to see is copying the set, copying a set. Again, when I want to copy a set, so that also I can do in various ways. First is by equating. Second is making separate independent copy. And then there is one way of creating independent copy using set method. Let's see these one by one. So by equating, you might be already knowing by now because we are doing that in previous data structures that we have seen. So S1 is this, and I am giving S2 equal to S1, and when I'll do print S1 and print S2, it will print same set, right? So this is how we basically copy using a equating. Then we have something known as copy method, which will basically create the independent copy. So यहाँ पे if I do let's say s1 dot pop I am doing. So I am popping from one set, but it will be reflected in both the sets because these are the dependent copy. They are pointing to the same object, although these are two different reference variables, right? One second. Now, in order to make an independent copy, what we do is that we will use the method dot copy method. So when I do this, it will make two copies, S1 and S2, both different object. And when I'll do S1 dot pop, it will just pop from the set S1. S2 remains intact. So when I'll run it, it has popped the item from S1 and S2 remain intact. And then third way is basically using the set function. So if I'm using set and I'm giving S1, and when I'll run this program, so the same thing set function is also doing, it is making an independent copy. So you can make independent copy of sets using first copy method and second set function, right? Now, next thing is joining two sets. So what do you want to see now? We want to see how do we join two sets. Join sets. So joining sets, if you want to see how do we join set, so there are two ways, right? Union method and update method. Okay, here concatenation do not work. Plus concatenation symbol or plus symbol doesn't work here. We'll see now. So let's say I have a set 1 as 1, 2, 3 and set 2 as 10, 20, 30. And let's see first whether we can use concatenation symbol here or not. S1 plus S2. It'll say class set does not define add, so the plus operator cannot be used on its instances. So you cannot use concatenation on set. First way to basically join two set is using union method. So S3 equal to S1 dot union S2 when I'll do, and when I'll print S3, it will join two sets and it will print the output. And when I use update method here, so here what will happen? It will basically, okay, first I'll run this. So why S3 is none in this case? Because S1 dot update is doing the update on the set 1 itself. It is not creating a new set. So it is not creating the new set. So the return type of update method is none, right? It is just a, update operation that is happening on the original set. That is why it has printed, none in the output. So any confusion so far?
No, all good. Yeah, it's just to remember all these methods and all. It's little tough, right? So
Yeah, it
yeah,
requires practice.
yeah, and
Cool. Then, mm, so we have a lot of, I think, among all the data structures, set is having, uh, I mean, the most concept basically lies in set because, Python set operations are there, which is like union, intersection that you might have, studied in your mathematics, right? Elementary mathematics. Intersection, disjoint, difference, all these are there. So I'll cover few of those. And then later on, if you have, out of your own interest, you can, pursue those, concepts. But yeah, I'll just give you the idea so that you know why set was created as a data structure, one of the data structures, and what's the basic usage of set. So you can, link this set to the sets that you have learned in your elementary mathematics, right? Venn diagram when you used to make, right? If you remember. So that's where the set, this particular data structure come into the picture. Okay, now seeing some of the, important methods. So we have already seen update method, union method. Then, we have one of the method known as sorted method. So what does it do? So let's say if I'm doing print sorted S1. Anyways, S1 is already sorted, but let's say if I'll create random values and when I'll do as sorted S1, so what will happen here? It will sort this particular all the elements in this set and the return type will be the list, not the set. Let's see that. See, the return type is list here and it is a sorted list by sorting the elements in this particular set, right? And then count method, index method. So index anyways, it will not work. Reverse method, it will not work because indexing and then slicing, you cannot do that because set is unordered. So it will basically not work. Let's see that also. If I want to use s1 dot count, I want to count 22 in this. So why it is not supported? Because count of any element will always be one, right? Either it is one or either it is zero, right? Because set is the collection of unique data, unique elements. So if that element is present in set, then its occurrence will be one, otherwise zero. So this count will not work actually. Count is not supported for set. So anyways, but whatever is not supported in this, set, you can always do workaround. You can first convert it into the list, do your calculation, convert back to the set again. Is how you can do some of the workarounds. Index will not work and then even reverse method do not work. So if I'll do reverse, it will not work because the items in the set are unordered, right? Indexing is not there. So you cannot guarantee any particular order in this set. Cool. So this is about set. There are few more things remaining Python set operations. I'll come, I'll cover, and then frozen sets is also there. So we'll cover that. But before that, let's have a quick quiz. So you can open, one second. Let me unshare the screen so that I'll not accidentally share the answers of the quiz that I am going to share. Okay, so what you can do, guys, you can open menti.com and I'll just share the code for today's quiz. It is 14824853. So please open menti.com in your mobile. I'm just sharing back my screen again. And once you guys are ready, I will start the quiz. Okay, only 3 players are ready. We have more players. 4, 1 is pending, right? 5 players are ready. Do we have any more players? No, only 5, right? Today. Cool. So let's start today's quiz. So here comes the first question. What is the output of this print statement? Okay, everyone has voted. Let's see the correct answer and leaderboard. Okay, Sarthak has only answered it. Nice. Let's go to the next question. Okay, all players are ready. Let me start the quiz for the second question. What's the output of this print statement? Okay, let's see the output of this. Okay, nice. So the correct answer is the second option. I am Iron Man. Only 2 people answered it correctly. Let's go to the leaderboard. Only Vedansh and Kumar answered it correctly. Okay, so the current ranking is Vedansh first, Kumar second, Sarthak third. Let's go to the next question. What is the output of this? So the correct answer is 0, right? So we have seen that count method returns 0 if the element is not present. Let's go to the leaderboard to see the ranking. Okay, only 1 player has correctly answered. Let's go to the next question. What is the output of this particular print statement? The correct answer is second option, false. Let's go to the leaderboard and see who is leading. Player and Deepansh had answered it correctly. Okay, so player, I don't know who is player. Okay, I don't know who is player. Okay, so player, whoever uh, Player is on first rank now. Vedansh second. Kumar third. Let's go to the next slide. So this is fifth question, second last question. What is the output of this print statement? The correct answer is true. Three people answered it correctly. Let's go to the leaderboard. Vedansh, Sarthak, and Deepansh had answered correctly. Okay, so player Vedansh, Deepansh. Okay, so here comes the last question. Let's see who wins this quiz. Here comes the last question. What is the output of this? Read it carefully. The answer is false. Three people have answered it correctly. Now let's see who won this quiz. Vedant, Deepansh, and Sarthak had answered it correctly. Nice. So Vedansh with 2163 point is the winner. Cool. Nice. So what we'll do, we'll take 10 minutes break and then we will rejoin, regroup, and then remaining set concepts that are there, we will see that. And then if possible, we'll start the dictionary also. Cool. Let's meet after 10 minutes. Thank you, guys. Hey, welcome back. So next thing that we are going to see is Python set operations. So Python set operations may we'll go to the elementary school and we'll see the concept. We'll revise the concept that we have learned there, right? Union ka intersection, then difference, set difference, right? And difference, maybe there are many things in difference. It is like normal difference and then symmetric difference. So these are the basic things that we will see. So let me share my whiteboard. Let's say I have two sets, S1 and S2. Okay, so this is S1, this is S2. So when I talk about union, so it will basically combine two sets and it keeps the unique value. So if there is any duplicate value, it basically discards it, right? So union is basically represented by this symbol, right? U symbol. So this basically denotes S1 union S2. In mathematics, I'm telling it is defined by this U symbol, right? But in Python, how it is defined? So let's say let me go to the editor only. Let's say I have set S1 as 1, 2, 3 and S2 as 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I want to do S1 union S2, so how will do? I will use pipe operator S1 pipe S2. And what it will do? So here it will, take the union of the values. Union of the values are the values which are unique. So 1 is unique, it will consider 2 is unique, it will consider 3 is unique, it will consider 2, 3 are already there. And then it will consider 4 and 5. So output should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when I run this program. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is about union. Next thing that we know in sets is intersection, right? So this is S1, this is S2, and intersection, this particular portion is the intersection portion, right? So this is S1 intersection S2, and in mathematics, we used this symbol, right? Ulta U. So this is S1 intersection S2. So in Python, how do we do that? Intersection. So intersection के लिए I will use and symbol, ampersand. So if I run this, it will give the common values that are there in both sides. 2 and 3 are common. So it is printing 2 and 3. Also, union में there is one more way of doing the union, which we have already seen, right? S1 dot union S2. So it do the same thing. Even for intersection, we have one more method known as S1 intersection S2. So both of these work, either explicit method or these operators and an OR operator. So this is intersection and union. Now coming to the difference part, right? So let's say remove this first. let's say we have two sets, S1 and S2. So if I want to define S1 minus S2, S1 minus S2. So these are Venn diagrams that I'm drawing, right? So this Venn diagram, whatever is the uh, highlighted portion, this represent S1 minus S2. And if I will go other way, this particular highlighted portion, this is known as S2 minus S1, right? Now, how do you basically define what is S1 minus S2 and S2 minus S1? So the best way to define is cancel out the common things from both set, and whatever is remaining in the in those set is the respective differential value, difference value. What I mean is that, so यहाँ पे S1 is 1, 2, 3. S2 is 2, 3, 4, 5. ठीक है. Now let's cut out the common values. So you might be playing flames. एक flames करके गेम आता था ना, flames, जिसमें फ्रेंडशिप, लव, एनिमी, वो सब निकालते थे आप उसमें. यू यूज टू बेसिकली कट, आई मीन क्रॉस आउट द कॉमन थिंग्स, राइट? सो यहाँ पे भी यही करना है. सो कॉमन थिंग क्या क्या है? 2 इज कॉमन, कट इट आउट. 3 इज कॉमन, कट इट आउट. एवरीथिंग एल्स इज यूनिक. सो ये जो बचा, सो वॉट एवर इज रिमेनिंग, दिस वन, ये हो गया S1 माइनस S2. एंड सेकेंड केस में वॉट एवर इज रिमेनिंग is S2 minus S1. So when I'll do S1 minus S2, when I'll print, it will print 1, S2 minus S1 में 4 and 5. Let's see that. S1 minus S2 and then S2 minus S1, right? And if I run it, see, the output is 1. जब S1, S2 we have done, and 4 and 5 is when we have done S2 minus S1. So this is how you can easily find out S1 minus S2 or S2 minus S1, right? Now, okay, so these are the basic of Python set operations. There are a lot many things in these. I mean, there are a lot many functions, or there are a lot many methods also, which are available for these set operations. So you can explore those methods. There are a lot many methods, but I would recommend you not to explore them as of now. Whenever you get the use case where you have to use these set operation, then that time you can go ahead and explore these additional methods. But this is whatever I have taught you is the basics of the set operations using Python. Now we have we basically do set comparison also, right? So set comparison is basically done using the comparison operator, right? Greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, sorry, this was less than equal to, this is greater than equal to, and then double equal to. Okay, so what does these comparison operator do? Let's see that. So basically these operators checks whether a set is a subset or superset or equivalent to other set and return Boolean result, true or false. That means if I say, or if I am writing S1 greater than S2, what it is checking or what it denotes is that it basically checks whether S1 is superset of S2. You know superset, right? Anyone have any confusion in superset or subset? Can let me know. I'll explain what is superset and what is subset. No confusion, right? And if I'll write down uh, so I can write down this as this also, right? S2 is less than S1. So it basically checks whether S2 is a subset of S1. So these both are the same thing, right? But it's just that greater than whatever is written, left side of greater than symbol is basically the superset set that we want to check, and towards right hand side is the subset that we want to check. So let me take an example. Let's say S1 is 1 and 2 and S2 is 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. I want to check whether S2 is subset of S1. If I run this, it is printing true because S2 is a superset of S1. ये 1 and 2, this is coming in set S2, right? That means that S1 is a subset of S2 or S2 is a superset of S1. Both of these statements are correct, right? And I can write it down this as S1 minus S2 also, S1 less than S2 also, which means I want to check whether S1 is a subset of S2, which we have already checked. Yes, it is a subset of S2. So when I'll run it, it will print again true. If instead of 1 comma 2, if I have given 1 comma 3, what will be the output? So here also it is true because 1 and 3, I mean the set 1 contains the element which are also there in S2. Now instead of 1 comma 3, if I'll give 1 comma 9, now is 1 comma 9 superset? I mean this S1 is S1 is subset of S2? No, right? Because only one element is present. 9 is not present in S2. So when I'll run this program, it will print false. So this is the concept of set comparison basically. And then we have membership operation also, membership operators also. That means I can check whether, let's say, 1 in S1, it will check whether element 1 is present in S1. It is present. So when I'll run this, the output should be true. Correct? Now there is a equivalent. Okay, before that, there is a term which is known as FrozenSet. Now, what are FrozenSet? One second. Okay, so what is FrozenSet? So if we'll look towards the data structures that we have already studied. So immutable equivalent of list. What was the immutable equivalent of list? What was that? Can anyone tell me? It was tuple, right? Similarly, immutable equivalent of set is FrozenSet. Now, immutability means you already know by now, right? Immutability means where I cannot change the values of that particular data structure. I cannot add it. I cannot remove it. I mean, basically, we cannot change the values. Similarly, Frozen set is the immutable equivalent of set. So that means frozen sets are the immutable form of the normal set. That is, items of the frozen sets cannot be changed, and therefore it can be used as the key in dictionary. So dictionary ka whenever we'll study the concepts of dictionary, we can bring this point back again. But for now, you just understand that if you want to create a frozen set, so how do you do that? So if you want to create S1 as a frozen set having 1, 9 as value, so you will use the keyword frozen set. And then, so frozen set is basically a function. And inside this function, you will pass list, let's say 1, 9 we want to create, right? Something like this. So if I'll print this, print S1, and then print type of S1, let's see what does it print. It will print 1, 9 as a frozen set and class as the frozen set, not the set class. So instead of providing this as a list, can I provide it as a set also? Yes, I can. Can I provide it as a tuple also? Yes, I can provide it as a tuple also. So this is how you create the frozen set. And frozen set, how you'll check whether this is frozen set, S1 is a frozen set. So in normal set, okay, let me create a normal set also, S2 equal to, side by side, let me create it 1, 9. So S1 is a frozen set having 1, 9, S2 is a normal set having 1, 9, right? Now, S2 may I can use, S2 set is basically mutable, right? It is changeable. You can change the values inside it. How do you do that? You can add new value inside it. Let's say you are adding 2 here. And when you will be printing S2, it will print the newly added value, the set with the newly added value 1, 2, 9. So you have added this, right? Now, try to do same thing with the S1. S1 dot add if I'll do, and if I'll try to print this, it will not print. It will say frozen set has no attribute add. That means frozen set is immutable. Immutable means unchangeable. Unchangeable means you cannot change the elements of that particular set. You cannot add new values or you cannot delete. So this is how frozen set works, or this is the concept of frozen set, which is the immutable equivalent of set. Immutable equivalent of list was tuple. Immutable equivalent of set is frozen set. Any doubts? Any doubts? Speed too fast? Actually, this data structure, if I'll take, my sweet own time, it will, string, list, tuple, set, dictionary itself will take around 10 to 12 hours to complete. But I don't want to, overemphasize on these concepts. I just wanted to have you a rough idea, clear-cut idea on what these data structures are so that you can effectively use when you will be, building projects in ML, neural networks, and then, Gen AI. So just get the fair understanding, basic understanding, and then you are good. So now we are done with set and frozen set. Now let's start the dictionary. And I'll try to complete dictionary today itself. And then in next session, what I will do, I will, do a quick comparison between string, list, tuple, set, dictionary side by side on creating, reading, update, and deletion part so that you'll be able to compare it side by side. If time permits, I'll do that. So that way you'll have, one comparison. Uh, Basically, you will have a one comparison sheet, uh, in your view so that you can refer it anytime. Okay, now next topic is dictionary. Python dictionary. Okay, so what we will be seeing in Python dictionary. So before I'll list down the concepts that I am going to teach in Python dictionary, let's see what Python dictionaries are. So Python dictionaries are basically data structure which uses key value pair to store the data. These are unordered. That means if you have inserted key 1 first and key 2 second, then during retrieval, it will not guarantee that key 1 will be retrieved before key 2 because it is an unordered data structure. It is changeable. Changeable means mutable. And it is indexed. So indexed means you can retrieve the elements using key. So key, basically dictionary indexing done using key, right? One second. Cool. And key can be any immutable data type, value can be any data type. So immutable data type means key का value जो है ना, you cannot change it once you define a key. That means let's say if you have defined key A in a dictionary, and if you want to later change it to some other key, it will not be changed. Once you define it, you cannot change the keys. Cool. Now let's see what we will study in dictionary. So it will be creating dictionaries. How do we create dictionary? Then indexing or retrieval part, right? CRUD operation I'm talking, right? CRUD. Then updating the dictionary, and next one is deleting the dictionary. And then again, we have copy. How do we copy dictionary? And then join two dictionaries. So this is high level, which we will see in the Python dictionaries. Yeah. Now let's see how do we create a dictionary. So to create a dictionary, let's say D1 I am doing creating. So curly braces I will use, and A. This is how I basically create the dictionary, where A, B, C, what are these? These are keys, and keys are unique, and these keys should be immutable, right? So just now when we were seeing FrozenSet, we told, right, FrozenSets can be used as keys to a dictionary because FrozenSet is immutable, right? And FrozenSet is kind of a set only, and set are always unique. So it basically qualifies both of these criteria, right? So A, B, C, whatever is there are the keys, and 1, 2, 3. What are these? These are the values. So dictionaries are created in key value pair is how we represent it. So this is a simple dictionary that you can create. Now if I'll do print of D1 and then print of type of D1, print type of D1, let's see what it prints. So it is printing the dictionary, and the type, data type of this dictionary is class TICT, right? So this is how you create a dictionary. And how do we create an empty dictionary? I have told you that also. This is an empty dictionary. This is an empty dictionary. This is not an empty set. Just remember this. This is a very tricky question for beginners. And I'm going to possibly, I will be keeping that in my next quiz. So just remember this. I'm going to ask, what is this? Whether it's a empty dictionary or an empty set. So just remember that this is an empty dictionary. Cool. Now let's see how do we do dictionary indexing, retrieval part, right? So retrieval may, there are various ways. So first one is accessing using specific key. Then accessing all keys. Third one is accessing all values. And then, yeah, that's it. Or all keys, all values. No, there is one more thing. Accessing all items. Item means key and value pair. Yeah. So let's see one by one. So first one is accessing using a specific key. So here D1 is defined as this particular dictionary. So if I want to access it using a specific key, so what I have to do? I have to do D1 and then square bracket में I have to mention that key. That I want to retrieve. Let's say B. So I want to access the value which is defined at this particular key because dictionaries are indexed using keys. So I have to provide a key here. So key is a string type. That is why we have provided in single quotes. So when I run this program, it will extract out the value that is present at the key number, the key B. So this is how we access using a specific key. Now, how do we access all keys? Second concept was how do we basically access all the keys? So we have seen this one. Now we are seeing this one, accessing all the keys. So we have a method known as keys method. So I'll use that method. D1 dot keys method. If I'll use, it will give me the dictionary keys. So let's say I'm keeping this under a variable name A, print A, and I want to print the type also. Type of A. If I'll run this, the type is dict keys. So keys method basically returns the list of a key, list of all the keys for a particular dictionary, and the return type is dict underscore keys. So this is the second part. Now seeing the third part, accessing all values. So for values, all values, I will use a method known as d1.values. If I run it, okay. Dict do not have d1 dot values, not value, I believe, values, okay. Yeah. So when I use d1 dot values, it will give the list of all the values, and the return type, or the data type is basically dict underscore values. Now third part, accessing all the items. Now for accessing all the items, there is a method similar to keys and values. There is a method known as items. So when you'll run this, it will give you the list of all key value pair and the return data type of that particular value is dict underscore items. So that is how you basically retrieve the dictionary, the various things from a dictionary, accessing using a specific key or accessing all keys, all values, or all items. Now let's see the updating part. Okay, so whenever you are revising the concept, just try to, pause this video and try to, whatever mind map I'm showing, just try to create this particular mind map and then try to, connect the dot for the particular data structure whenever you are revising the concept for that particular data structure. So this mind map is very helpful. So try to use mind map of your own so that you can do a quick mapping of all the concept in a single diagram. Okay, checking the updating part. So updating, maybe there are various ways, right? Updating for particular key. Next is updating multiple values for particular keys. Next is adding new item. And then adding multiple items at one new key. Or adding, adding multiple items at one new key. So let's see these updating parts one by one. Okay. Let's say I want to update key number A. Key number A ka value is 1, right? So I want to update the value at which particular key? Key number A. And what new value I want to give it to this new value that I want to give? Let's say 100. Print D1. So when I do that, it basically it has replaced or updated the value, the value for key number A as 100. Initially, it was 1. Now, let's say if I want to update multiple values at a given key. So instead of just one value, I will do this. So when I'll do this and I'll run it. So initially, the data type of this value was integer data type, right? It was int. And when I have added multiple values at this particular key, so now from int say it became tuple, right? So I have updated from one data type, that is int, to tuple by doing updating multiple values for a particular key, right? Next is adding a new key itself, or new key value pair. So let's say I am adding a new key as D number, D key, and the value that I want to give for that key is 40. And when I run it, it will add this new key with the value 40. So this is about adding new key value or adding item. So what we have seen so far, we have seen this one, updating for particular key, updating multiple values for a particular key, and then adding new item or adding new key value pair. Now adding multiple items at one new key. So that is again same thing you have to do, just do like this and it will be added, a new key D will be added with value as the tuple of these values that I have just provided. See this? This is how it has added multiple items at one new key. Cool. Next thing is deleting part, right? Deleting may we will see first deleting complete dictionary, then deleting specific item, and so इसमें भी there are two cases. First case में so there is one case where it returns the value, also returns the deleted value. We will check that case, huh? And then third one is deleting random item and return the deleted key value pair as tuple. Deleting random value. Okay. Then emptying the whole dictionary. Let's see these. Deleting complete dictionary first. So when you want to delete a complete dictionary, you will use the word del, d1. And print d1, when you will do, it will not recognize as d1 because d1 is deleted by the time we are printing it. D1 is not defined. So this is the deleting of a complete, deleting a complete dictionary happens. Now let's say if I want to delete a specific item. So for deleting a specific item, what I have to do, I have to mention the key that I want to delete. Let's say I want to delete the item present at key number, key C key. So this will delete this whole particular whole item which is corresponding to the key C. After deleting, it is printing the key A and B only. Now, here when I am doing the delete, I am doing this, a delete in a raw manner, right? Now, instead of that, I can use one method which is d1.pop, and when I'll do this, see the difference. So right now, in the previous case, you were seeing it was printing the it was printing the dictionary which remains after deletion. When I'm using pop method, let's see what happens. Okay, it is again printing the value. Sorry, it is printing the dictionary which remains after deleting this particular key. Now I want to check the case where we want to delete a specific item and then it also returns the deleted value. So for that, this d1.pop itself returns the deleted value. So if with print d1, if I'll print val, now in this case, it will show me the deleted item also. So the value 3 got deleted, hence it is showing 3 in the output. So if you want to see which particular item got deleted when you have provided any particular key, so you can assign it to a variable and then print that particular variable. Okay. Now next thing what we want to see is deleting a random item. So for deleting random item, I will use a method pop item method. Pop item. And in pop item, I don't have to give any argument. It is a random key that it will delete. So when I'll run this program, it has deleted this particular item from this, which is a random item. I mean, right now I'm running it. It is showing the same item, but yeah, it can be a random item which gets deleted from this particular method when I'm using this. So it was basically, so if I'm talking about the Python version, so 3.7. So after 3.7 version, the pop item basically removes the last inserted key value pair from the dictionary and return it as a tuple. Before that, it was a random thing, but after 3.7, it is the last inserted value, which was this particular thing, right? What is the next thing that we want to see? Emptying the whole dictionary. So how do we basically empty the whole dictionary? For that, we will do d1.clear and you'll print d1 and then type of d1 if you will do. And if you'll run this program, see what is happening here. So when I'm printing d1, so this is clearing it. It is not deleting from the memory. It is just clearing that dictionary. That is why when we are printing d1, it is printing the empty dictionary here. And the type of that d1 is still dict type because it remains in the memory. It is just clearing the dictionary, right? So this is about the deleting part. Now comes the next part, which is copying a dictionary. So copying a dictionary, let's see how do we do that. So first is by equating. This is the most common way which we have seen in every data structure. Then how do we make independent copy? And uh, third is by the inbuilt dict function. So let's see one by one. So first one is by equating. Let's see how do we copy dictionary by equating. Let's say D1 is the dictionary that we are using so far. D2, if I'll equate it to D1 and if I'll do D2 and here I'm changing the value of A as 4 and if I'm printing print D1 print D2. Okay, what is happening here? So first of all, and let me print these before also. So I'm creating two dictionaries. So I've created this dictionary. Then second dictionary that I have created it by equating it. When I'll print it, it will print same dictionary two times, right? Like this. After that, I have done the changes using D2 in the D2 dictionary, where at key number A, I have given the value as 4. Now this is this way we have created basically the dependent copy. So any change that you will do in one dictionary will reflect in the other dictionary also because D1 will also point to the same object to which D2 is pointing. So D2 say if you will do the change इस वाले object में, so ये D1 maybe it will be reflected. So this is the dependent copy which we have seen previously also. Now in order to make the independent copy, we will use D1 dot copy. Now if I run the program, see this in this particular D1 statement में A value is 1 and second dictionary D2 में we are changing the value of key a value at key number A as 4. So that is why यहाँ पे the last print statement में A का value is 4. So this is basically the independent copy that we have created. Now another way is basically using the keyword DICT. So DICT ka, if I'll make use of DICT and then make the pass D1 as the argument. And if I'll run this program again, DICT function also creates independent copy of the dictionary. So this is how you basically copy a dictionary. First is by equating, second by equating, we create dependent copy. And when you are using copy method, or if you are using a dict function, then you are creating independent copy. Okay, the last thing that we want to see is basically, I would rather say second last thing. So 5 minutes, I may stretch 5 more minutes just to complete the dictionary before we wrap up today. So equating the first part by concatenation operator, this is not possible. Then we can see how do we join two dictionaries using update method, and then we have something known as unpacking operator. Unpacking operator is denoted by unpacking. It is denoted by two asterisks. Let's see these one by one. So let's say I have one dictionary, this one, and then let's create one more dictionary, A, B, C, D, and E. So we have two dictionaries, D1 and D2. Okay. Now concatenation is not possible. That means if I do D3 equal to D1 plus D2, error will come. What is the error? Class this DICT does not define add method. I mean this concatenation operator. Now if I use D1 dot update method, so what it will do, and then I'll just to print D1 and then print D2. So D1 dot update will basically update the dictionary D1. It will not create a new dictionary. If I run it, so after update method, I have used the print statement. So it has updated the dictionary, both D1 and D2, and it has updated in D1 itself. Now, third thing that we have seen that I have just mentioned was the usage of unpacking operator, right? How do we use unpacking operator? So let's say D1 and D2, I want to combine it in a new dictionary D3. So how will I do is I will use like this. I will use unpacking operator and then give the dictionary D1, then comma unpacking operator, dictionary D2. And when I'll print D3, it will create it basically joins these two dictionaries by using these unpacking operators. So these are very commonly used unpacking operators. So yeah, just I mean this is one of the most common way of joining the dictionary. So just make a note of it. So we are done with joining two dictionaries, concept of joining two dictionaries. Next is membership operator. Last thing, membership operator. So membership operator means, so in I mean we have used for loop to basically traverse over a data structure. So let's see how do we use for loop and membership operator in to iterate over a dictionary. Okay, so let's say I have a dictionary D1, and then I'll use for loop for I in D1, and inside this for loop, what I have to do, I am just printing the value I. Okay. So when I'll do this, It is printing me. What are these? These are keys. So I'm printing keys here, right? These are keys. Now, uh, there is another way where I can, print keys. So instead of for I in D1, I can use D1.keys also. So either if I'm using for loop on D1 dictionary or D1.keys, it will give me the same result, ABC, ABC, both of these times, both in both of these cases, right? Now, if I want to uh, print the values in the dictionaries, just the values. So this is the way where I'll print the values for I in D1 dot values. It will print the values, or I will iterate it over D1, and then what I will do, I will do D1 and then something like this, right? So when I'll run it, it will again print the same output, that is the values. And if I want to print key value pair, so what I will do, I will do I comma D1 of I. If I'll do, it will give me the key value pair in this way. But if I want to give it in a more structured way, so what I'll do, I will use for I in D1 dot items, and I'll just have to print I here in this case. And when I'll run this program, it will give the tuple of key value pairs, right? So this is about dictionaries. I hope I'm not too fast today. I think we have covered a lot of concepts today, tuples, sets, and dictionary. If you have any doubt, do let me know. If you have any suggestions or any feedback, then also do let me know. I just want to hear. I just want to hear back from you guys about the pace of today's session. Is it fine? Is it too fast? Is it too slow? I just want to hear back from you. Was it okay today? Sarthak, you're not audible. Okay. Cool. I think we are done with Python level 2 training in today's session. Now, next session, uh, we will be starting Python level 3, and then comparison. Okay. I told you the data structure comparison, right? CRUD. So what I'll do now, I'll just click a picture of the of that comparison note from my I'll just click a picture from my notes, and then I'll send it over the group. So you can refer that so that we can save some time in the next lecture. And we can start level 3, which is functions, and then the concept of global local variable, concept of uh, exception handling, classes and object. And then after that, as part of level 4, we will see how do we create Python projects, and then pip install, what pip install do, then the concept of module and packages, and then some of the libraries also we will see, math library, OS libraries, and then NumPy, pandas. That thing we will see as part of level 4. Cool, guys. Thank you. See you in next session. Thank you, guys.